We're learning her image by knowing his heart, made in his likeness. That's where we start.
Who am I? Why am I even here? Where am I going? In my experience, these are three questions that every human desperately wants the answers to, and not just a blanket answer, an individual answer for themselves. Have you ever asked yourself that? Who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? I feel like we all ask this question, whether it's conscious or not. It's something that we all need the answers to so that we can live our lives with meaning. That's why, as we start this year, I want to work on answering these questions for you. So, throughout 2026, not only are we going to discuss who am I, we are also going to dive into why am I here and where am I going. But first, we're going to focus on identity. And I don't want us to rush through this because the reality is that identity is foundational. The other two questions flow from there. Now, in all fairness, I know that people generally want to know where we're going. And in terms of what we're doing here as a community, I do have some insight on where I want to lead you to. So I'm going to share that with you just so that you have an idea of what we're doing this year together as a community. Make sure it's the right fit for you. And also, maybe you have another woman in your life that you know this is exactly what she's been looking for. Invite her on the journey with us. Throughout this year, we are going to answer those questions. And right here, right now, we are starting with the question, who am I? Then we're going to move into why am I here? And it's very possible that we're going to spend the bulk of the year in the why am I here because it's so layered and so deeply personal. My goal is that by the end of the year, you have a clear answer to who am I and why am I here? And not only will you have an answer, you will have created your own unique personal purpose statement that will help guide you to where you are going. Now, it's possible we don't get to where we are going by the end of the year. And that's okay. We'll go into the next year with that. Because I want us to do this right. I don't want it to add pressure. There's homework and things that you're going to have to do. So this isn't about adding something to your plate. This is about resting in who God made you to be, why he placed you here, and for what purpose, to what end. So we're going to take our time to get there. This is about learning to live the life that God designed for you, specifically as an individual. A life where even in the midst of trials and tribulations, we can experience an abundant life. Jesus did say we would have trials and tribulations, but he also said he came to give us a life in abundance. He told us that he came to give us peace that surpasses understanding, unspeakable joy, and a love that casts out fear. So that is what we are going to learn to do. Despite the chaos in our lives, we are going to learn how to have peace that makes no sense, has no logic to the human mind, makes absolutely no sense. Doesn't that sound amazing? We are going to live our lives with unspeakable joy, joy that cannot be expressed, explained. There are no words. You are just thankful, filled with gratitude, excited for life. And you are going to learn how to be loved and to love well, which is the greatest commandment that Jesus left, because in John 13:34, he said, I leave you a new commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. This, in verse 35, he says, this is how you will be known as my disciples, by your love for one another. And in 1 John, he says, you are known as my children by your love. That is the goal, my friends, and that is where we are headed together. Now, let me paint a little bit of a picture of what this particular month is going to look like, because throughout the year, it's going to be a little different. To start off the year, we are not going to focus on all the things that we have to do. We're simply going to rest in who God made us, how He made us, His divine design. So each day, so every single day in the month of January, you're going to get an email from me. It'll have a personal message, maybe some links to help you get to all the other things that you're going to have available to you. You're going to read the day within the devotional. So in her image book, you're going to read one chapter a day. We're going to do that together. You're going to have a new podcast episode each and every day, and it's going to be a meditation that's about 3 to 5 minutes specific to that day. And then we're going to have an ongoing conversation in the Facebook group. There will be a daily post in the group where we can interact and talk about what we have been learning, what stood out for us, because the reality is I'm going to share as much as I can. Obviously, you have the devotional where I share. You have this video where I'm sharing. We're going to meet on Zoom. But I have no doubt in my mind that you have gold nuggets of wisdom to share, and you may have something to share that was an oversight on my part. I missed it. I don't see it. You have that facet of God to share. So this is why I'm so excited for us to have this community as well. Because one of the reasons I wanted to do the book club was also because I want to meet all of you. A lot of us have spent the last year together, either in the group or in email talking. And I just want to have a personal touch point, which is why we're going to have weekly Zoom calls every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I know that time may not work for you, and I'm sorry. It's just so hard to find a time that works for everyone in all the time zones we're talking about. If you miss it, don't worry, because we will have the replay and you can watch back. So at least you can get to know people and then go into the Facebook group and interact with us. But I am going to try to get a weekend Zoom call at some point during the month so that those who are in a time zone ahead of us, you guys can join and we can have one all together. So maybe a little bit early for those in the US, but it'll give some time for those who are in other parts of the world to join us. If you can't attend, again, it's no stress. This is not about adding something to your plate, stressing you out. This is just a place for us to have some support and come together. Now, before I close, I do want to talk about day one, because this is day one. And I want to share something with you because I've been reading Proverbs 31 my entire life. I've always loved the book of Proverbs. I'm someone who really sees the value in seeking wisdom. But it wasn't until about 5 years ago that I realized something that changed my entire life and my whole outlook, especially as a woman. And that's actually what birthed this devotional, what birthed the reading plan and the podcast. There's a few facets to this, so I'm going to break it down. First of all, the book of Proverbs is generally known for being written by Solomon, but Solomon actually didn't write all of Proverbs. He wrote most of it, but not all of it. And Proverbs 31 is actually one that wasn't written by Solomon. It was written by King Lemuel. And then to go into the next step that was really revolutionary for me was that it wasn't King Lemuel that described this Proverbs 31 woman. It was his mother. His mother gave him this wise counsel of what he should look for in a woman. I don't know about you, but for me, that changed so much, because now you have this woman that wasn't a man that put her together. It was a woman. This woman who was able to describe what a woman made in God's image looks like. And as someone who deeply strives isn't the right word, like desires to live a life that reflects God, that was everything to me. Up until that point, Proverbs 31 was a list of things that I had to do, right? And I didn't even understand it all. I mean, I was always told I had to be this kind of wife and this kind of mom, and it really put pressure on. And then you read it and you don't even understand half of what it's talking about. I mean, what does it even mean for a woman to be like a merchant ship? The descriptions and the metaphors within that chapter definitely were not written for our generation. And for a long time, it was exhausting. It was this thing that I felt like I had to measure up to, and I could never. I was never good enough. And I was being tired of just being told that I needed to do more. I needed to do better, and I needed to reach this thing, and I was never good enough. At least that's how I felt. I don't know about you, but that's how I felt. Until I realized that the purpose of Lemuel's mother's wisdom wasn't about what this woman did. It was about who she was. And I can't tell you exactly when this happened, but at some point it became so abundantly clear to me. This woman is a description of a woman who mirrors and reflects the image of God. She reveals what it looks like to be a woman made in God's image. And this realization was just so absolutely refreshing to me. It was transformational. It really did change everything. And I've been exploring her ever since. And so much has opened up to me over the years. Even while I was writing this devotional, I'm writing this book. It took me a very long time because I was so convicted as I was learning about her and trying to publish this book. I was trying to rush and get this book out last year. I wanted to get it out before the end of the year. I wanted to have it available for the new year. And I was doing everything so quickly. And as I'm working on it, reflecting on who she is, learning deeply and writing about her, I was so convicted because this was a woman with intention and excellence. And here I was rushing through this, producing something that probably, maybe it was going to be good, but wasn't going to be what it should be. And I just wanted to be so much like her because I know that she looks like him. So I took a moment, I paused, I slowed down, I took a different turn, and I took the time to create this devotional. And one that since then has just been a blessing to all of us, including myself, the person who wrote this book. I cannot tell you how much the book has blessed me, and it probably blessed me more than it will ever bless anyone else. And it's just an honor to be able to bring something of so much value to the world that I really believe can change the world. Here we are. We are here together. And now, instead of rushing through it last year, producing something of mediocre, we are starting 2026 together, grounded in the absolute truth that we are made in the image of God. And we're stepping into that journey to discover what it really means and what it looks like. Ladies, it is such an honor to be here with you. I just wish you guys could see like a little video of my heart and my mind and my spirit and my soul so that you could see how excited and thankful I am to get to do this alongside you. It is an incredible honor and a privilege that I do not take lightly. So on this New Year day, take a deep breath. If you need to, go listen to today's podcast episode because it will help you slow down. And start this new year with no stress, no pressure, no need to try to be someone else, change who you are. No, we together are going to uncover who we are because the reality is it's already there. It's already in us. And by the end of the year, together, we are going to be able to answer for ourselves the question, who am I and why am I here? I look forward to walking this journey with you. Drop those gold nuggets along the way because there is treasure to be found. You have treasure to find. You have treasure to give. And we are all going to find ourselves at the end of 2026 with a treasure chest full of gold nuggets. I will see you guys on Wednesday.
We're learning her image by knowing his heart, made in his likeness. That's where we start. Who we are matters more than what we do. Becoming his image is shaping what's true. I am made in his image. I am made in his image. I am made in his